today I thought I'd make a video showing the newly published book, Paul McCartney, The Lyrics, which I received as a Christmas present this Christmas just gone. So I'm going to show the book, I'm going to show what's included inside in this video. And this is my first video of 2022, so Happy New Year to my subscribers also. So, Paul McCartney, The Lyrics. I received this book, it was gifted to me from my Uncle Rob. So there's two books included inside, and Paul wrote this with help from Paul Muldoon, the editor, and the first part is A to K of the lyrics, and then the second part L to Z. So without further ado, I'm going to take a look inside. So starting off with the A to K. Put that there, maybe. Right. The A to K, so there we are. And now let's look inside. So that's the front cover, and then opens up. It's a photo of Paul in '79 doing the McCartney 2 sessions on the synthesizer. You can see that. And Paul McCartney, The Lyrics, 1956 to the present, edited and with an introduction by Paul Muldoon. And he's the guy who helped out with this book. Dedicated to my wife Nancy and my mum and dad, Mary and Jim. That's what Paul wrote at the start, but there. Chapters. So it's a bit of an introduction from Paul. Bit of writing, but there. Many of my songs are based on people I knew in and around Liverpool. And readers of these commentaries may be surprised by how often I mention my parents. When I first began this project, Jim and Mary McCartney was certainly not the first people who came to mind. But as I started to think about songs written at every stage of my career, I would not help but realise that, even without my conscious knowledge, they were the original inspiration for so much that I've written. So that was a bit of introduction written by Paul McCartney, Sussex, England, autumn 2020. And there are notes to the reader. So the interesting thing about this book, apart from the explanation of all the lyrics, is a lot of these photos are either unseen or they've rarely been seen until the publication of this book. So that's quite interesting. It's an introduction by Paul Muldoon. See that photo, but there I'd never seen that before. It's just one of the many photos in here I hadn't seen. So A to start off. So yeah, All My Loving starts off with, explains like who wrote it, the artist, in this case the Beatles, where it was recorded and when it was released and everything, and then an explanation of the lyrics from Paul himself. Now, it's with Ed Sullivan, 64, the first American appearance. Yes, great photos, great information. It's a nice photo. It's Paul and Linda. So yeah, basically it just shows there's some handwritten lyrics by here. Photos from Hamburg in the early days of the Beatles, playing in the clubs in Germany. We have an interesting shot of John when John and Paul went to Paris for John Lennon's 21st birthday, and he's got the Buddy Holly glasses by there. So Paul recording drums on the toilet for the McCartney 2 session, 79. Is it 79 or 80? Yeah, 79. Ranachan Studio, Scotland, 79. So, it's John and Yoko, Paul, Ringo, Maureen, with the notorious businessman Jaron Klein in the Apple offices, 69. So yeah, very interesting photos. Great information on the lyrics, personal information. I haven't, of course I've looked through this a couple of times, but I haven't, I only received it on Christmas Day, so I haven't, I haven't read it yet, but I will get round to reading the 2 books at some point. So, yeah, basically that's A to K. And here's an interesting photo, also I'd never seen. It's Paul with his old friend from Liverpool, Ivan Vaughan. They were friends since they were kids, and Ivan Vaughan is the guy who introduced Paul McCartney to John Lennon, interestingly. So that's that with it. That's the photo which features on the front cover. Paul, at the age of 19, 20, in his garden in Liverpool, his Liverpool home, Falkland Road, and his brother Mike McCartney took that photo. So, A to K. And then we have L to Z, right here. And back cover as well. It's pretty much the same layout with the rear photos, the information on each lyric he's written. That's Paul with his brother in the 1980s, Mike McCartney. Mike was in a comedy group called The Scaffold with Roger McGough, and they performed at the Cavern in the early 60s. Get Back sessions by here, and of course for the recent Peter Jackson Disney Plus series Get Back. There's been a lot of talk about that time period, and I will make a video at some point talking about my thoughts on the Beatles Get Back, because I've been through it 3 times now, and I love it. There's Paul with his English sheepdog who was called Martha. Martha, My Dear. The inspiration for that song from the White Album. Scotland, 77, the time of the Mull of Kintyre single. So yeah, it just goes for each lyric. And I know some people, some fans have decided not to purchase this book because of some recent things Paul have said in interviews which are a bit controversial about calling the Stones a blues cover band, and saying about that he wrote most of A Day in the Life, and he said some things about John after the Beatles broke up and they didn't get on with each other. But I wanted to add this to the collection because it's kind of somewhat an autobiography. That's last year taken. Somewhat an autobiography of his life and the lyrics that Paul has written. So yeah, it looks very interesting, and I'm looking forward to read it. So that's L to Z. and great rare photos from the final meetings the Beatles had as well, in '69, with Alan Klein, and yeah, it looks really good, to be fair. So that's the once I put this back in here. So I thought I'd just make that video, you know, about the Paul McCartney The Lyrics book today. Looking forward to read, and grateful to have it as a Christmas present, and yes, so Happy New Year to my subscribers, and as usual, thank you for watching, and feel free to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Thank you and goodbye.